Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to the video. I hope everybody's day is going great. Yesterday in the Overwatch League, it was definitely very interesting. There were some crazy results, ones I definitely was not expecting. A whole bunch of 4-0s. A lot of people were spamming in the Twitch chat for Overwatch because every game yesterday was a 4-0, which was very surprising. Caught me off guard. I thought those matches were going to be very close. I really do think it just shows that these Korean teams, they're just a step ahead. The New York Excelsior, the London Spitfire, they're just a step ahead of the Western team. Yes, the gap has closed a ton. Philadelphia Fusion, Houston Outlaws, they look great. And at times, yeah, they can contest the New York Excelsior and the London Spitfire and maybe even beat them. But I think when it really comes down to it, when the New York Excelsior and the London Spitfire really want to win their matches, they will. Now, of course, they always want to really win their matches, but I think it has become apparent, especially with like the London Spitfire, which isn't really the best mindset for them. But it does come down to which team they play. You can tell if they're playing the Florida Mayhem, they're not really trying their hardest, or they're not really putting all their effort into it. It could be that they're taking it as maybe a learning opportunity rather than just trying to win the set. But as we've seen in the Stage 1 playoffs, there was a quick turnaround for the London Spitfire against the Houston Outlaws. When it really mattered, there was money on the line and they wanted to win. They came out and they really just rolled them. It wasn't all that close. But then we see them twice in the regular season lose to the Houston Outlaws in some really close matches. Then we start to think, wow, the Houston Outlaws are very good, which again, they are. But I think when it comes down to it, when the London Spitfire really want to win the match and they really want to try their hardest and put everything into it, they will come out on top every single time, at least for now. Like I said, the gap has closed, but it's not fully closed yet, and I think yesterday really proved that. Anyways, guys, besides all those interesting games yesterday, we have some crazy roster signing leaks coming out of Korea. We don't know what the source is from this, but it was highly upvoted on Reddit and on Invin, and it seems like a lot of people believe these rumors are true. So I figured I had to let you guys know there are some crazy trade rumors coming in, so we're going to talk about that. We'll cover that first, and then we'll hop in a little bit more of those games yesterday. But if you guys are new here, please do consider subscribing if you want to stay up to date on all the Overwatch League news, whether it is roster signings or recaps of the previous games. You can find a bunch of Overwatch League content on this channel, so be sure to drop that subscription. Like this video, guys. Let's try to get it to 1K, and let's go ahead and hop into it. So let's start off with these roster signing leaks or rumors coming out of Korea. Very exciting. So the first two players are rumored to be joining the San Francisco Shock. We have Architect, who competed in multiple seasons of Apex for Conbox and recently competed with X6 Gaming. He's their projectile player, but most notably known for his Genji. Very good Genji, so he definitely has a lot of experience and he has competed at a high level, so he's definitely proven. And then the player who is rumored to be joining San Francisco Shock with him is actually Choi Hoibin, which I'm probably pronouncing this wrong. You guys will see his name on the screen here. It's Choi Hyobin. He also comes from X6 Gaming. He's their off-tank, so he probably has existing synergy with Architect. These two players could be very big assets for the San Francisco Shock. They need a Genji player. I mentioned this in one of my videos this week. They need one, absolutely need a Genji player very badly. And then they do need to upgrade on their flex tank. Yeah, Nevix is doing alright, but he's just doing alright. Compared to some of the really good divas in the league, he's just not there, and there's not much more to say to that. It's just true. So these two could be huge assets to the San Francisco Shock. A lot of people were saying, oh, why are they getting these guys? They need a main tank. They need a main tank. Guys, they have Super coming in very soon. I'm pretty sure in Stage 3, Super is going to be eligible to play. The guy was an incredible main tank in North America. In my opinion, he was the best North American main tank by far. The guy was so good on LG Evil. He carried them so hard with Jake. So I think these two are going to be huge pickups. And then with Sinatra and Super coming into the team as well, holy crap, San Francisco Shock might be stacked. So those are the first two rumors coming out. Now we have two more for London Spitfire. So being rumored to join London Spitfire, first we have Tizzy, who was a main tank for Runaway. Very good main tank. He competed with Runaway in Apex Season 4, where they made their run all the way to the finals and barely, I mean barely lost to GC Busan. One of the closest series, most exciting series I ever seen. He's definitely a solid main tank. He has experience. I don't think he's on the level of Gesture, but he would definitely be a tier 1 main tank in the league. And this is definitely a huge pickup for them to replace Fisher. Obviously, Fisher is an amazing player, and they didn't want to hold him down, so that was very nice of London Spitfire, letting him move somewhere where he could start. And now they're bringing in Tizzy, where they will likely do the same thing in my opinion. Tizzy is a great main tank, and a team that is lacking a good main tank will eventually want to get him. So I think it's a smart move. London Spitfire, they're going to groom Tizzy, let him do inner scrims, maybe give him a little playtime so he can prove to other teams that he's a great player. And once that happens, they'll probably sell him. It's just a process of London Spitfire grooming players, making money. The next player we have joining the London Spitfire is D-Dean. He is from Kongdu Panthera. He's known for playing flex DPS, so a wide variety of heroes actually. Mainly projectile, but still I've seen him play a lot of different heroes. I've seen him on the Tracer, Soldier, but he is most known for that Genji, that Pharah. He's someone that has been fairly quiet in the Overwatch Apex scene. I never really seen too much from him. There was never any like crazy plays. He was a solid performer for Kongdu Panthera and Kongdu Uncia, but both those teams were never really good when he played on either of them. I see this pickup as London Spitfire just getting another player so they can do in-house scrims, obviously, which makes sense. They want to have that 12-man roster. I think it definitely helped them out in stage 1, and this is definitely a pickup for that. Moving on to the next rumored pickup, which is for the Los Angeles Gladiators, we have Void. Now, Void has previous experience with Fisher competing on Kongdu Panthera in Apex. They had their amazing run together during Apex Season 3, got second, barely lost in the finals to Lunatic High. Incredible set, amazing match. If you guys haven't seen that one, go back and watch it. They literally played in the middle of Seoul, Korea, in front of a huge crowd, skyscrapers and everything. It was awesome. It had me in awe. One of the best sets of all time. And Void was an amazing diva. He was a player that a lot of people were caught off guard because he wasn't in the Overwatch League. One of Korea's finest off tanks. The guy really at a point looked like the best diva in the entire world. So for Los Angeles Gladiators to be able to get this pickup would be absolutely mega huge. Yeah, Bishu's been a decent off tank. I wouldn't say he's been a good one. He's kind of been very inconsistent, a lot like Remix, where he's made questionable decisions, been in wrong places at wrong times, and I really think this would be a massive upgrade from Bishu. Definitely adds more depth to the Los Angeles Gladiators and puts them closer to that 12-man roster. This pickup puts them at 9 players. Now they just need 1 more DPS and 2 supports, and they're on their way with the 12-man roster. They can do inner scrims, which would be great for them. They can figure out what works best. I do think they still need to figure out their situation with their DPS players, where Surefour is basically playing both Asher and Hydration's role at the same time. Then they have Hydration and Asher both playing, which doesn't make sense. Stick to 1 role for each player. And that's basically it for the Los Angeles Gladiators. Void would be a huge pickup. And now let's move on to the Dallas Fuel, where we have OGE, or Oj, not really sure how you pronounce this one. He played main tank for Conbox, and personally I haven't watched this guy play a lot, but the word on the street is this guy is incredible, and a ton of teams have wanted him, but for some reason he hasn't been signed to the Overwatch League yet. Maybe he's waiting for the best offer, but legit, the word on the block, what I've heard from Overwatch League players and just friends, OGE is an absolute monster. This guy is an insane player, and if he were in the Overwatch League, he would be hands down one of the best main tanks in the league. So this is a massive rumor for me. Hearing that the Dallas Fuel are going out and trying to get this guy is crazy, and I think it's smart, but the Dallas Fuel also, with this, they need to go pick up another off tank. I really don't think Mickey is the player for them. Sure, he's got great spirits, and at a time, he was a huge pickup for Envious, and his attitude was exactly what they needed. But now, that no longer matters. An attitude cannot carry you through Overwatch League. Sure, it carried you through North American Overwatch, where the teams weren't as good as they are now. You need somebody who is capable of playing that role at the highest level possible. Mickey is just not that guy. He's a decent off tank, he would make a great backup, and sure, he could still be very valuable for team morale, but to be effective in that way, he does not have to play. Keep him as a backup. You can use him in inner scrims. This will get you closer to a 12-man roster. They really need an off tank paired with this main tank, because I don't think XQC or their main tank situation is the biggest problem. I think their off tank lately has been, and I do think the main tank situation is a problem, and both need to be dealt with. So picking up an off tank and a main tank would make most sense in my opinion, and if they did that, I think the Dallas Fuel would finally be able to get over the hump and become a stronger team. Obviously, they do have some issues with their supports as well. Custa just hasn't been cutting it lately. Chips, Harry Hook, they've been alright. The Dallas Fuel, they made good decisions with their DPS players in the offseason, but there still is more time. Get an off tank, get a main tank, trade one of your DPS players, get a support, and I think the team would be in a really good spot. And that's it for all the trade rumors, guys. Pretty crazy, a bunch of Koreans coming over to the Overwatch League, which is expected. These are all great players, every single one of them, and they will definitely have a huge impact in the league. Now that I've talked about this, let's go ahead and hop into those games from yesterday briefly. I know it was kind of a snooze fest, bunch of stomps for Overwatch, but we'll still talk about it a little bit. Starting off with the first set, we had London Spitfire, Philadelphia Fusion, and this might have been the most brutal game of them all. The London Spitfire really gave Philadelphia Fusion no freaking room at all. These guys suffocated them. Fraggy, Shadowburn, Carpe all got shut down. Everybody on the London Spitfire seemed to be performing at an amazing level. We start off on Hanamura, where the London Spitfire won 7 team fights and the Philadelphia Fusion won 0. Yeah, 0 team fights. So London Spitfire straight rolled, straight smoked and rolled and smoked, whatever you say. Destroyed the Philadelphia Fusion on Hanamura. Then we got to Nepal, probably the only close map. Really went down to the wire on both rounds, and it was fun watching this map. Other than that, though, this set was a complete stomp. The next map was Hollywood. London Spitfire won 6 fights, and the Philadelphia Fusion won 0 once again. Completely shut down. Moving on to Route 66. This one was a little bit closer, but the London Spitfire still rolled them, and they took the 4-0 win. There's not much to talk about. They really just outplayed the Philadelphia Fusion. They looked on the next level. They looked like the team that won Stage 1, and they just looked like the best team in the Overwatch League yesterday. Prophet played out of his mind on Tracer. Birdring played out of his mind. They all played out of their mind. Then moving on to the next set, we have the New York Excelsior taking on the Houston Outlaws. Another stomp. It wasn't as bad as the London Spitfire Philadelphia Fusion stomp, but it was still pretty bad. Starting off on Volskaya Industries, New York Excelsior won 6 team fights, Houston won 0. So, as you can see the trend, guys, these were not close matches. The next one was Lijiang Tower. New York Excelsior won 8 team fights. Houston Outlaws won 3. Kings Row, probably the only close map of this set. Houston Outlaws, they won 10 fights. New York Excelsior, they won 11. Houston Outlaws have looked great on Kings Row, virtually unstoppable up until this match. And I think this shows that their Kings Row is actually that dominant because they were almost able to win the map. And compared to all the other maps, they got completely destroyed. So Route 66, 10 team fights to New York Excelsior, 4 for Houston Outlaws, complete stomp, 4-0 for the New York Excelsior. Once again, just everybody on New York looked amazing. Everybody on Houston Outlaws basically got shut down. Muma wasn't able to do what he usually is. Jake's Junkrat got shut down. Linkser could not frag out at all. And yeah, the Koreans, they dominated. The Korean overlords are back. They have not gone anywhere, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Now, I'm definitely not saying that Korean players are just naturally better than Western players. Not at all. That is not my point of saying the Korean overlords are here or that they are better than the Western ones or anything like that. It's just kind of proven. The Koreans, they have consistently done better so far in Overwatch than the Western teams and players. Now, it's not because they are naturally better. It's because they either work harder, they have that Korean infrastructure, they want it more. It could be any of those factors, and I think it proves with these rumors earlier that we talked about, every single player is Korean, guys. This is for a reason, man. The Korean players are very good. They're disciplined, they understand the game, they can compete under pressure, they just want to win no matter what. And there is a lot more talent in Korea than there is in Western Overwatch. And it's just true, there is. There's just simply more and better talent in Korea than there is in Western Overwatch. And that's pretty much it for those 2 matches. Let's move on to the next one. Shanghai Dragons taking on the San Francisco Shock, which funny enough was the closest match of the day. Once again, the Shanghai Dragons put up a decent fight. Starting off with Hanamura, this map was not close at all. San Francisco Shock, they got the first hold, took it fairly easily. Moving on to Nepal, this map was very back and forth. It went 9 team fights for San Francisco to 8 for Shanghai. It basically went down to the wire on almost all the rounds. But at the end of the day, Baby Bay Soldier popped off. Dante looked great on the Tracer in this match. Maybe one of his best matches so far. Then we moved into Kings Row, which was, wasn't that close. Sort of. San Francisco Shock did get the hold there on second. They had double the team fight wins. They looked pretty good on this map. And then the last one was pretty close. Gibraltar. Both teams capped with time. At the end of the day, San Francisco Shock did come out on top. They had 11 teamfight wins to Shanghai Dragons 9. So not really too much to talk about in this match. As expected, San Francisco did win. It was somewhat close. Shanghai put up a fight, but they weren't able to win the match. And it doesn't really say much about San Francisco Shock. We all expected them to win this match. And as for my predictions this week, guys, I went 3-0 today, and I only got 2 matches wrong this week. It was the Philadelphia Fusion and Houston Outlaws match, and then the Dallas Fuel and Los Angeles Valiant match. So that puts me at 20-4 so far with my predictions this stage. Not bad, I'll take it. Obviously, I want to get a perfect week every single week, but in the Overwatch League, it's nearly impossible. Some of these matches are insanely hard to predict, like the Houston Outlaws and Philadelphia Fusion. And that's basically it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to my channel. I upload Overwatch League videos every single day. Follow Team KINGmykL on Twitter, guys. We had a huge match yesterday. We were able to come out on top 3-2. And we have one more match today against No Clout. If we 4-0 this match, we will move on to contenders. If we 3-1 it, we will need some help from some other teams, but there is a chance we can make it. But more than likely we won't. We need that 4-0 win. If we 4-0, we are in. That's it. So follow team_KINGmykL on Twitter, guys. And I'm out of here. Peace.